Hi, my name is Lisa. I'm a children's librarian in the mountains of North Carolina, and in this video I'm just going to go over some of the book titles that we've used in a letter G story time. And these are story times that we've taken into pre-K and kindergarten classes, as well as story times that we've done here at the library. So I will move my Guinea bird and tell you about one of my absolute favorite books. Is called Guess Again by Mac Barnett. And this one is a little bit harder for the children maybe to actually find the letter G in the title, because in a G story time, that's what we're going to do, is have them find the letter G in the title of the book. But I wanted to give you an example from this book so you'd have a rough idea of what this is. Just silly book. So there's clues on each page, and here's one. Their fleece is warm and woolly white, and when you lie awake at night, count them and you'll fall asleep. A guess? Why, yes, a flock of. And then the children usually guess sheep, and I always say, that's what I thought. But the answer is abominable snow monsters. So every page is a trick, and I always like to let the children know that I was tricked by the author as well, because I think they don't like being tricked unless they feel like you got tricked as well. So give that book a go in a letter G story time. And then another guessing book is I Guess, E-Y-E, by Tildes. And I like this book. I love the illustrations, but I like that it's kind of a lift the flap as well. My home goes everywhere I go. I pop inside when I need to hide. I can play peekaboo with you. Can you guess who I am? A turtle. So that's, again, the letter G is pretty prominently featured, but it's written in a font that the children might not guess that that's the letter G, but I love having the opportunity to talk to children about fonts, and that letters can look a little bit different in print. So let's see, another one that I really enjoyed with a letter G story time is from a series called Alpha Tales. And this is a set of books, so I don't think you could just buy this book alone. You might have to buy the 26 letters, and I don't love all the books in the Alpha Tales, but I did really like Gorilla Be Good. And a gorilla follows a little boy home from the zoo one day, and he's not very good. And there's a nice surprise ending for this as well, and lots of alliteration with the letter G. So even though that was very short, it works great with a pre-K. And then one of my favorites, and I'll have to be honest with you, some of the other storytime providers haven't liked my garden to start with. Again, there's a great letter G for the children to point out, but I have found that there's so much good imagination in here that if you have the time to stop and ask the children questions, that this actually turns out to be a very thought-provoking book. So an example is this page where it says, if I planted jelly beans, I'd grow a great big jelly bean bush. And I love asking the children, if they planted something in the ground that could grow on a bush, what would they plant? And there is a wide variety of answers to that question, from things to eat to toys. So give that one a go as well. And then I usually don't have time to get to some of these other books in our kit, but I Ain't Gonna Paint No More is a favorite for a letter G story time. And again, the letter G is a little tricky to find on this title. Then Grumpy Gloria would be another one to try. And in the kit, the last one we have is One Guinea Pig Is Not Enough. And I love this one, but I'll be honest, in story times, I don't feel like this goes over as well as I always think it's going to. So I don't know if it's the age range that I'm working with or not. Then two books that other storytime providers had mentioned to me that they like to use is I Am Going by Mo Willems. And this one is a little tricky in that it is technically it does technically have a letter G in the title, Bark George, but here is where the G is making the J sound. So that's a great dialogue to have when we talk about letters of the alphabet with children, and when we find a letter that makes more than one sound. The way I explain it to children is I just say, hey, let's think about a dog. What sound does a dog make? And they all bark. And I'll say, well, what sound does a dog make when it's sad? And they whine. And I'll say, what sound does a dog make if you try to take a bone away from it? And they'll growl. And I said, well, that was one dog, and he made 3 different sounds. And the letters are a lot like that. They can make more than one sound. And here's an example where the G is not saying the hard sound of G, but saying the soft sound J. And if you look at the video I'm going to do for the extension activities for letter G story time, I will show you a song that you can sing to help children have an idea of when to expect that G to be making the soft sound. So that's all the book titles that I had to share with you for today. I hope you find that helpful. If you have any book titles that you might like to recommend for a letter G story time, I would love that if you would put that in the comments, put those titles in the comments below this video. And I hope you enjoyed that. That's it. So in the words of Tigger, ta-ta for now.